Hello, and welcome. This is Stronghammer, and in this video, I'd like to share my top 5 favorite weapons, or just basically power increases for new players, or even returning players. Maybe give some people a little help for starting out their game in the Dark Souls franchise. In this video, it'll be Dark Souls 1, obviously, and I'm going to start with an honorable mention. Most people start with the Master Key for their burial gift, but if you want to have a pretty decent strength weapon, you can start with the Black Fire Bombs. And if you kill this thing in your first encounter, he will guarantee the drop of his weapon. It's a pretty good weapon. You can buff it. It's upgraded by just regular Titanite, and it goes up to plus 15 if you find the very large ember. All that stuff. The only problem with it is it takes a butt ton of strength, so you won't be able to use it once you first get it. And you won't start with the Master Key unless you start with the Thief, who also starts with the Master Key. So this would be more of a mid to late game weapon, but if you wanted it, you can get it. There's its stats. I can't wield it yet, so that's why it's it's going to be dealing no damage. You can also get it by trading a sack with Snuggly from the butchers. There's 2 of them down in the depths. One of them is guaranteed to drop the sack. You just give that to Snuggly, reload your game, and you'll get that from her. If you're unable to kill it with the kill the demon the first time. Anyways, the next mention, or rather, my first weapon in my top 5. I'm going to rate this as a difficulty 1 in order to get. It's obviously going to be the Drake Sword. This weapon is very good, especially for low-level players. All the weapons I'm actually going to be choosing, most of them are disposable, though a few of them you can take through the entire game confidently. The Drake Sword I would definitely say use for the first 1, maybe 2 bosses, and then find something else. I started as a cleric, so I'm not going to be able to wield it right away. If you want to wield it right away, I recommend starting as either knight or bandit, because you'll have the strength requirement and very close to the dex requirement using those classes. I started as a cleric so I could show off a few other things down the road. So first we want to, do the Undead Burg as normally. Right here I realized I did not have the Master Key. I have to go buy the residence key from the Undead Merchant, so I'm just going to run quick and do that. It's only, I think, 1,000 souls, so if you, like me, started with the Black Fire Bombs, you can just grab that from him, and it'll allow you to get your gold pine past that door in the treasure chest. We'll use that on the first boss, and we'll use that actually to get the Drake Sword. Because, well, might as well. So with the residence key, we're now able to open this, and we'll just pick that up. Gold pine is pretty rare in this game, but it's also pretty damn strong. So we only get 3, so you do kind of have to conserve it. The good thing is the weapons that I'll be showing off, you can only buff, I think, 2 of them. So using all your gold pine isn't that big of a deal. So of course we'll just slay this guy, we'll throw on our gold pine. And try not to die here. I died here because I got shot in the head, but you know, good luck, I guess. that's why you start out with, or that's why you get 3 of them. So you can try this twice if you want the Drake Sword. If you're unable to save all your gold pine, that's okay. It's just going to be a little harder to get the Drake Sword once we make it to the Death Bridge. Also, I might add the mace is definitely not my favorite weapon. It's a bit slow and it doesn't deal much damage. But we'll remedy that very soon. We'll make sure we're full health, so if we do get burned, we at least can survive that once. We get pretty lucky here. So we'll have to bait this thing down. Unfortunately, I got really unlucky. For some reason, he seems to have lost his vision. So he's kind of blind. I'm trying to pull him down right here. It doesn't work. I get burned because he's kind of glitched. If you want to fix this, like if this happens in your game and you want to just quick fix it, I believe just quitting your game and reloading should remedy this. Otherwise, running down and getting your shortcut, resting at a bonfire also might help. I was impatient, so I kind of tried my hardest to bait him down. As you'll see, it didn't work. Well, it did work, but it cost me my life. And one of my gold pines, which is unlucky. It's working here, though. If we got him breathing fire, he knows we're here. So once he kind of goes for he makes a funny roar noise. And that's kind of the cue that you want to throw on your lightning pine, so you can get the maximum value out of it. When he jumps down, we'll just get into that sweet spot, wait for his tail to drop, hit it twice, and there we go, we got the Drake Sword. Unfortunately, I was spamming B to get rid of that window, and I accidentally picked up the Claymore, so that also cost me my life. This weapon, like all dragon weapons, is basically it's raw, so that means it has no scaling. So you'll want to use this for maybe the first boss, maybe the first 2 bosses, and then you'll just dispose of it. Really, that's all it's used for. It takes dragon scales to upgrade, and I think it's 1610 for requirements, but I'm not too sure. Because it doesn't scale, it's not a late game weapon, and I don't recommend using it past the first bosses, but it will shred everything up to actually Quelaag pretty well. The next weapon is actually a miracle that I wanted to show you. I unfortunately don't have enough faith in order to get that, so my number 2 weapon will be probably a 1 difficulty to get. I just needed to farm a little more faith, which is why we started as clerics. So now that we have 25 faith, we're able to come over here and pray to the altar of sunlight and join their covenant. We'll get one of my favorite miracles, the lightning spear. This thing, especially at this level, is busted. It's so strong. We'll need a medium in order to cast it, which the cleric starts with the tailsman. So we'll just pull that out. We'll take our heal off and we'll replace it with lightning spear. And I'll show it off quick. It's pretty good, Takes a while to cast, but yeah, that's decent. That's quite good. So if you wanted a faith build, there you go. That is how you start. And of course you get the best emote in the game. My next mention, of course, which would be number 3, has to be a classic. One of the most popular weapons in the game. Oh, here's the Drake Sword, by the way. Yeah, see, it's raw, so it's not going to scale well, but its initial damage is quite good. So if you're feeling for this one, go for it. Otherwise, the next mention would be the Zweihander. I'm going to rate this as another 1 difficulty. This one's not too hard. You might die coming back from retrieving this weapon, but I mean, hey, if you get the weapon, that's good enough. I recommend starting out as a bandit because I believe they have the most strength, and you'll need a lot of strength to wield this weapon. It's pretty, it's pretty easy to get. Just run down to the graveyard in Firelink, and you'll just snap it up. This is what Siegward uses as well. You can do a Katarina armor set too if you wanted to. And there it is. Die Zweihander. This weapon has incredible reach, pretty decent scaling, and is a favorite for PvP. If you've heard of the Giant Dad, I believe this is the weapon they use. I personally don't do PvP, but if you're into that, there you go. It has incredible reach, pretty good damage, and this is definitely one of the weapons that you could take late game and just beat all the bosses with if you really wanted to. It is a Titanite weapon, and it is buffable. You can also change this to be divine, called anything you really wanted to, but I recommend keeping it just regular and buffing with charcoal, gold, or poison pine, if that's what you wanted. I don't have the strength to wield it, but it's pretty cool, it's pretty big, highly recommend it. The next weapon, so number 4, I rate a 5 difficulty, 5 out of 5. This one's going to be hard to get, especially for easier players, but it is my personal favorite weapon to start with. I always start as the warrior class because it's the closest stat-wise in order to wield this weapon, and we'll be getting the Gravelord Sword. This is the sword that Gravelord Nito uses, and he will gift it to you if you join his covenant, but it's pretty difficult to get to. So first, we'll run over here, we'll drop down the elevators, and we'll pick up our homeward bones. We're going to need these because we do not want to run out of the catacombs backwards. That's hard on its own, and we are most likely going to die, so we want to make that as easy as possible. Next, we're going to go to the catacombs and not kill anything. Skeletons are resistant to a lot of things, especially what we have right now. And we don't have the damage, we don't have the health, and we don't have the resources in order to kill everything. So we're just going to use our shield and try to run past everything, block if we need to, and not kill anything. Our only goal is the Gravelord Sword, and if we die, we just try again. First, of course, we got to open the door, so we'll run down here. Do not rest at this bonfire, that's very important. We're going to be boning out of Nito's room. We want to bone back to Firelink. So if you bone back here, you're going to have to run out of catacombs backwards, which is not fun. Trust me, I've tried it. At soul level 1, it's pretty difficult. So next, block this guy's roll attack. We'll try to roll through these pots in order to avoid those 2 skeletons. If you stand right about here, you can get a couple free heals off, and then we'll roll with the bridge. And we want to roll and drop down right here. Don't heal immediately because you might get blown up by the floating skulls. That would not be fun. So once you get inside the door, you can heal pretty much at any time. And once you get to about these pillars, most of the people chasing you will be aggro, so you'll be safe enough to engage this guy. Don't worry, we're not killing him. You just have to get around him. In order to access the Nito Covenant, we have to have Eyes of Death in our inventory, and luckily for us, they put some Eyes of Death right there. So we'll pick those up, and we'll make our way over to this coffin, and we'll jump inside of it. Once you're inside of this coffin, you actually have iframes, so nothing can damage you while you're in here. So even if this demon is still trying to kill you, you'll be safe, as long as you're inside. We just have to wait for the cutscene, which takes a little while, and then we'll be spirited off to Nito. We can ask politely to join his covenant. He'll also give a miracle called Gravelord Sword Dance. It's not too useful PvE, but PvP, I know it is a miracle you can use. It's kind of an AoE around you. Just a bunch of knives explode from the ground like Nito in his boss room. They don't do that much damage. This is another weapon that doesn't have too great scaling, but its initial damage is ridiculously good. Like I said, this is my favorite. This is my go-to. Soul level 1, you can come down here, pick it up, and just shred everything. There's its stats. Takes 24-13. So the warrior, or is it the knight? One of those two has 13 dex needed. And then you can actually level up your strength in order to two-hand it after killing the tutorial demon. And you're ready to go with this. Highly recommend this. It also deals toxic damage, which isn't that important, or it isn't that helpful for PvE, but PvP I know it can help you out. It has pretty good range. It's a curved sword, so it has fairly low end lag after moves, after swinging it, and it's pretty safe. You can actually like 5-shot the first gargoyle and 3-shot the second one with this thing at +0. So it's pretty good. And as you saw, we just boned back to Firelink, so we didn't have to run out of the catacombs. The next expansion is for you Dex fans. This is also going to be a 1 for difficulty to get. We'll be getting the Uchi next. The Uchi is another weapon that you can actually take to late game. It's good enough and scales well enough that you can use it all game to defeat all the bosses with. And luckily for us, it's very easy to get. I'm going to take a seat here so I can de-aggro some of the guys chasing me. And if I do die, I can just try it again. We'll have to run over to the Undead Merchant, hidden beneath the boxes and the stairway. Make sure you buy everything you want from him. Also, if you're worried or if you're planning on using a specific weapon art, you might want to buy some repair powder from him. This is the only merchant, or the easiest merchant to buy repair powder from. But if you kill him, you'll get his weapon. The Uchi is a katana. It's a pretty quick dex weapon. It's buffable, and it has an auxiliary effect, which is the bleed. So you'll be able to rip down your opponents if they are weak to that. As you can, the stats are pretty low. I think it's 14-14. It's pretty easy to wield. It deals 90 damage at +0, and has that B. Is that B scaling already? I can't really tell. The screen's really small for me. But anyways, there you go. Highly recommend this weapon as well. I have done a complete playthrough with it, and I very much enjoyed it. If you want the Iato, maybe for dual wielding katanas, you can pick that one up in Blighttown, but otherwise, we'll just stick with that. And for my final, or for another mention, if you're doing a sorcery build and you feel like you need more ammunition, just run down to the New Londo Ruins, and you can talk to one of the blacksmiths down here and buy some more soul arrows from him. This is the Valheim blacksmith. So if you felt like you weren't, or like you didn't have enough ammo, I know sorcery is very good in this game, but if you're trying to kill everything between you and then you're trying to kill the next boss, you oftentimes run out of spells. So just talk to the blacksmith down here, and you can purchase, I believe it's heavy soul arrow and regular soul arrow. They're fairly expensive, but if you need the extra ammunition, there you go. He also sells a catalyst, so if you wanted to start an int build, you could. Anyways, thank you all for watching. This was my top 5 weapons for new players, and for just making the beginning of the game easier. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope this helps out you guys as you're playing through Dark Souls 1. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill, and I hope to see you next time. Have a fantastic day and peace.